Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door. And welcome to a quite strange Championship preview and predictions edition. We've only got 6 games, and this is a catch-up round. So there is no round. It's not round 29 yet. It's been round 28. It's not even round 28B or 28 and a half. So, look, with that being said, the Football 365 predictor game is not up and running. That won't be live until the weekend. That's going to track the full round. So we will cobble through in our normal way, but I just felt there was enough to talk about in these 6 midweek games, 5 tonight, 1 tomorrow, that it was worth doing a show. So thank you all. I can see plenty of familiar faces in the chat there. Thank you all for joining us at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. We will, of course, be back for QPR Swansea tonight at 7:30, and a bit of a mini super stream, actually, because there's plenty of League One games tonight, including, of course, my favourite team. Let's say some hellos. Hit the like button as well if you are watching. See if we can draw a few more people into our stream. Robert, hi. Kamel, Peter, Tim, Ewan, Hamza, Stefan, Brad, Will, Stephen, True Jack, Dave, and Andy. Thank you all for joining us in here. We'll say hi to Toby as well. It's the last time QPR are going first. Well, they are going first today. Have they played Fulham twice already, Toby? We always work from the top down. So, yeah, QPR will be first. Do hit that like button. I'm going to say my thank yous and then we'll get into the predictions. We'll do a little bit of Q&A. Please, if anyone can keep an eye on Twitter, we're expecting Roy Hodgson possibly in and Grant McCann possibly out at some point. So let me know if that actually happens during the show, which it normally does, just to annoy me. So we are partnered with betfair.com and Football 365. We're going to head over to betfair.com for each of the games. As I said before, the Football 365 predictor is not open until the weekend and a full round, okay? So we'll have a look at that at the weekend. But we will have a look at betfair.com. We thank them for partnering up with us. And we need to say a big thank you to the Donovan brothers, who are our Patreon sponsors, in memory of Father Dennis and Brother Mike, both sorely missed, cheering on Millwall from above. This is the second season running. No second season syndrome for the Donovans. We thank them very, very kindly. Right, we will do it the normal way in terms of your predictions, but I'm going to relax the rules, guys. You don't need, because there's only 6 games, I'm not going to put pressure on you to play your 0-0. I'm not going to put pressure on you to play your joker. You can use them if you want. I don't think I'm using either, but I don't want to spoil any predictions I'm about to make. So we're going to relax the rules, okay? I'm going to calm down and not be such a pedant like I normally am. Right, let's start with this then. Get your predictions in. First up, QPR versus Swansea. Rangers draw, Swans. QPR draw or Swansea. It's the TV game tonight. We're going to be watching along. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing if QPR can maintain this very viable-looking automatic promotion challenge. Yes, things have opened out a little bit ahead of them in terms of Bournemouth's poor run of form. However, QPR, we thought they'd, come down with the Christmas decorations in January because of the AFCON absences. Nope, gone exactly the other way. 4 straight wins for Rangers, and they look very, very good. Swansea, little pick-up in the past couple of games, draw at Huddersfield, win and clean sheet over Preston. So they're trending up, and the Swans fans I speak to are very excited about the arrival of Hannes Wolf, and we think there might be a couple more in to Swansea before the end of the window as well. Predictions in, please, guys. QPR draw Swans, QPR draw Swans. One more plug. We'll be watching along with this one tonight. What are we saying in the chat here? Let's dive in. Right, Rangers draw. Rangers, Swans. QPR won the last 4 games. We won a recent games. Could potentially take a point. Draw and a draw in there. So not too much or too many of you indeed in behind Swansea on this one. And I have to say, I am the same. I think the Rangers run continues. So I'm going to go for a 5th straight victory for QPR. I'm going to hit this button. I'm going to bellow home. Sorry, there's a few more coming in here. Let's just dive in real quick. Rangers draw. So pretty heavy on Rangers draw no bet would be the one on betfair.com. I am going to go for a 2-1, which you can see there, 15-2 with our friends at betfair.com. If you think I'm right, I'm not very often right, but 15-2 is the price you get at betfair.com. Please gamble responsibly. On to the next one, and it is West Brom versus Preston. Get your predictions in. West Brom, draw or Preston? West Brom, draw or Preston? Bad news from West Brom this morning. I mean, we kind of knew already, but I assume there's been a scan and some analysis done on Daryl DK. It's going to be out for 8 weeks. That's really sucks, doesn't it? If you need goals, you bring in a player known to the boss that you've hired and drop a bit of money, and he's gone for the next 8 weeks, which, I mean, essentially takes us through into March, doesn't it? And then we're really going to be on the home straight. So is Daryl DK going to be the impact at West Brom? No, he's out injured, and we wonder if West Brom will act again. Preston, they had their first defeat, didn't they, under Ryan Lowe? In fact, it's draw, loss now. The game we mentioned previously against Swansea. So we do need to mention that West Brom home record as well is the best in the division. It's not in terms of points, but Blackburn have played 2 games more. I'll rephrase, is the only undefeated record in the division. Predictions in, please, guys. West Brom draw Preston. West Brom draw Preston. I realised I didn't give you the Bloom numbers for the QPR game, so my apologies there. I'm going to give you the numbers for the West Brom Preston game. So West Brom in the table by 10, in the XG difference table by 12. 8-game form table, West Brom only by 1, so a bit tighter there. But as I just mentioned, draw, loss the last 3 for Preston in sort of short-term thinking. Homes and aways, where we said West Brom are very good at home, by 13. In terms of goal scoring, West Brom by 6. In terms of fewest conceded, West Brom by 17. But they have huffed and they've puffed, and DK is out. Get your predictions in. West Brom, draw or Preston. West Brom, draw or Preston in this one. Let's dive into it. Where to start? Oh, I just don't know where to begin. We'll begin at Ewan. West Brom. Cameron Archer into Preston, from the Villa, isn't it? Draw. Swans have only won 3 away and scored only 13 in 12 away games. Not prolific, Chris. Baggies. KG. Carlin Grant, Tim. Yes, sorry. Speaking in code. Home. Baggies. 1-0 either way. Nick, you can't hedge your bets like that. Come on now. There's one prediction for Preston there. Brownie, we'll talk about Kiefer more in the Q&A at the end for sure. Plenty of injuries there for Preston. Alistair, North End fans, gone for the Baggies. End of the home record. Chris has gone for North End as well. They draw and Baggies. I am going to agree with Hamza. I do often agree with Hamza, actually, when it comes to West Brom. Home and... Look, I'm completely landing on the home record of West Brom and the defensive record of West Brom. And I've gone for a few of these recently for the Baggies. I'm going to go for a 1-0. Of course, we should remind you this game is tomorrow night, 8 p.m. kickoff. But a 1-0 to West Brom over at betfair.com. You will get 9-2 odds on that one. West Brom to win 1-0. Tomorrow night. Please gamble responsibly. BeGambleAware.org. 18+ only. Only gamble what you can afford, for goodness sakes. Right. Next one up is Nottingham Forest versus Barnsley. And here we go. We're into that uncomfortable time now of the season when it comes to Barnsley, aren't we? Where pretty much every week we're predicting them to lose and we're waiting for some kind of upturn. It's getting to the point now where it could actually be record-breaking bad for Barnsley, couldn't it? We're talking about possibly low 30 points if things even if things pick up a little bit. If they don't pick up at all, it will be under 30 points, which would be a horrible total for Barnsley, who just haven't managed to cope with the drop-off from last season. Forest are coping very well, and Stevie Cooper's doing a very good job there. 8th position. We kind of know the narrative with Forest, don't we? If Cooper had been there all season and it was his points per game, they'd be in the top 6, wouldn't they? But possibly even higher. I haven't checked the exact numbers. But they left themselves a lot to do with the first 7-8 games under Krissy. Was it 7? I can't remember. 4 points off the playoffs are Forest. And it's that comment I always make about teams like this. You have to win for a long, long time to negate such a bad start as the Forest did have. So they can't really afford that many slip-ups in terms, and we're talking about 39 games, aren't we? We'll see how much they got left in the tank, Forest, but they're well positioned as things stand. Get your predictions in, guys. Forest draw, Barnsley, Forest draw, or Barnsley. As you can imagine, I'll read you the numbers, but they're all basically anyone who goes up against Barnsley at the moment, the numbers go in their favour, don't they? In the table, Forest by 16, XG difference by 11, form table by 19, homes and aways by 12, goals scoring by 17, goals conceding by 12. So Forest are obviously huge favourites to win this one. You may want to pull out your joker for a Barnsley win, possibly. Let's get into this and see what you are saying. Nick, Barnsley wanted to call the game off. Been reported only 13 fit players. That does not sound good. Forest, home banker, draw, home, big Forest win. There you go. Someone thinks Barnsley can win. Forest. Barnsley season starts tonight. There you go. Barnsley couldn't beat an egg. Sadly, Patrick, you're right this season. 2 wins in 25 games. For Barnsley, who we loved last season, we really did. They were fantastic. But, yeah, it's just been awful, hasn't it? Forest. Could Barnsley finish the season with less points than Ipswich did in 2018-19? At the moment, yes, they could. And that's a low yardstick, Ewan, because that's one of the worst sides we've ever seen. Another 3 predictions for Forest. So, look, until we see evidence otherwise, sorry, Barnsley fans, I'm going to keep predicting you to lose because we just don't see light at the end of the tunnel as yet. So, predictably, home for me. And I'm going to go for a heavy one. I'll go 3-1 to Nottingham Forest in this one. We'll see what Betfair are saying about that. You're going to have to follow my cursor. Oh, no, you can't see it. Actually, can I highlight that up? There you go. Can you see that? 11-1. It's not even that long odds. We are over the 10-1 for it being a big call. But, yeah, get involved at betfair.com. Please gamble responsibly. You'll get 11-1 on that one. Please indulge me for 30 seconds before we get to Coventry Stoke. We've got a new partner here on the channel. We're partnering up with Jim Vintage Clothing. Visit jimvintage.com. Sustainable streetwear from recycled materials or organic cotton. You can get free delivery over at the website and returns. Easy payment through ClearPay and Klarna. I've got a picture somewhere, although I think I put it on the other brand, didn't I? This might change colour for a second. That's my poor preparation. Now, you can buy hoodies, sweats, joggers, T-shirts, caps, bags. We're going to have a giveaway soon. So do head over. There you go. There's a screen grab of the website. Do head over to jim-vintage.com. And you guys have been great with supporting the partners we've had on the channel. Helps me out, helps them out. So go and give it a look. And when we do the giveaway, you can win yourself. I don't know what it's going to be. Possibly a hoodie, actually. So I need to have a word with Dan about that. And I need to press that button again. There we go. To get the other partner back on there. Sorry, we're getting very corporate here, but thank you for your patience on that. And yeah, do check out gym-vintage.com. Don't forget the hyphen. And we're not going to forget to go to Stoke versus Coventry. Sorry, wrong way round. Coventry versus Stoke. And that is an important distinction, or certainly it was an important distinction at the start of the season when Coventry were beating up on everybody at the CBS. Less so now, but then Stoke are a bit slippy at the moment as well. Get your predictions in. Coventry draw, Stoke, Coventry draw, or Stoke. Stoke 3 defeats in 4, although all these Stokies I spoke to at the weekend said they played quite well against Fulham, and Fulham were just clinical in front of goal. So read into that what you will. We're possibly going to be seeing Nick Powell soon. DiMaggio Wright-Phillips is sort of looking good now and pretty much worked his way in, maybe even ahead of Tyrese Campbell as well. And everybody, including the Villa fans as well, are very excited about Jaden Philogene-Bidas, who came on in the last game and looked very, very lively. So reasons to be optimistic for Stoke. Coventry obviously going to be missing Matt Godden. They lost 2-1 to QPR. But again, looking at the numbers in that game, Coventry had a fair share of the game, didn't they? So kind of arguments that both sides, could have got more from their games at the weekend. Both played 2 teams in form, though, didn't they? Get your predictions in. Cov, draw, Stoke. Cov, draw, Stoke. Let me give you your blue numbers. Stoke by 1 in the table. Coventry by 1 in the XG difference. God, this is tight. Coventry by 1 in the 8-game form table. In the homes and aways, there's a big disparity in Stoke's favour by 15. That's over the last 8 games, by the way, that form. In terms of goals, Coventry by 3. In terms of conceded, Stoke by 4. It's all very, very evenly matched, as you'd imagine, for 9th and 10th in the division with 1 point in between them. Let's see what you guys are saying. Let's first say a big thank you. And we're going to drink to you as well. Wolves FI, who super chats all the time, actually. We'll drink to you, sir. He says, hey, Ben and chat. You're very welcome. €5 there. Very, very kind. Thank you. I'll try and ram some more coffee down my throat before it gets too cold. Right. Where are our predictions here? Benjamin Bloom announced, Jim Vintage. There we go. Right. Where are we landing? Oh, Damien's off to QPR right now. Safe journey, my friend, down the M4. Let us know if you're off to a game tonight. You might be going on the train, actually. You might be going nowhere near the M4, but there you go. No Godden and poor home form. 1-0 Stoke, says Matt, who knows his Coventry. Go and subscribe to Matt's excellent channel as well. Away for Steph. A draw for Stephen. He's managed to pull out a 0-0. Good. That means I can do this, and we get to see those 2 lovely fun faces who we always like to see. Thank you for that, Stephen. Right, here we go. Draw, Stoke, draw, Cov. You're mixed on this, aren't you? Away there. 3-3, goals galore. The 0-0's coming out again there. Stoke, both Coventry and Stoke have the same last 5. Everything's tight with these 2, isn't it? Desmond for Hamza. Draw, Cov, draw, Stoke. How large is that mug? Large enough. Let me have one more sip, actually. Look, I'm sorry, guys, to be predictable. I can't get away here from how tight it is when I looked at the numbers between these 2. So I've got to go for a draw. I'm going to play it predictable, play it safe. I'm never right anyway, for God's sake. So, I'm going to go for a draw, and I'm going to go for the low scorer again. Forgive, that's the wrong screen. 1-1 there, you can see I'm going for 5-1. So short odds, but look, it always is short odds for a 1-1, isn't it? But tight game, this one. I can't call it either way. I probably, without Godden, I'd probably edge towards Stoke, but I'm going to go for a draw and a 1-1. Right, 2 to go, and it's Luton versus Bristol City. Get your predictions in. Excuse me. Luton, draw, Bristol City, Luton, draw, or Bristol City. It could be a fun game, this one, couldn't it? In fact, I was at this game. What season would that have been? 2019? 20? Luton won 3-0, actually, didn't they? And Lee Johnson had a bust up with one of his subs. Can anyone remember that? And someone bent one in the far... Was it Pelly Ruddock bent one in the far corner? Anyway, it's 2 years later now, or 3 years later. God, the pandemic's killed a load of time, hasn't it? So, look, Luton versus Bristol City. Luton were in really, really nice form, but lost to Sheffield United at the weekend. Still, like the Blades, in fact, still have got much in the way of games in hand and could be headed towards that top 10. Bristol City, I mean, we say the same things we do every week. Erratic, not great defensively, but capable of, capable of pulling out results in games in isolation, aren't they? Bristol City, a difficult one they've been to predict, but they do have 6 points in the last 3 games, Bristol City. But yeah, then you look at it, you have to go down a few places for anyone to have lost more games than them with the 12 defeats as well. So they're a difficult one to call, Bristol City, aren't they? Let me give you your numbers. You give me your predictions in the chat. Luton draw, Bristol City, Luton draw, or Bristol City. Luton in the table by 3. Luton in XG by 15, but we know all about Luton, and they've underperformed their attacking XG for most of the season. It's been a very high number, hasn't it? In the form table, Luton only by 2. Homes and aways, this might be your tipping point here. Luton by 13. So the kind of underlying evidence tells us that Luton are far better at home than Bristol City are away from home. In terms of goals scored, they're both decent, 6th and 8th. So we could get goals in this one. And it was goals in Bristol City's game, wasn't it? They won 3-2 at the weekend. And they had a 3-2 against Millwall very recently as well, didn't they? In terms of goals conceded, Luton are in the middle, but Bristol City concede a fair amount. So that may have been a leading comment there at the end. Predictions there. Hatters, draw, or Robins in this one. Let's have a look at some of your thoughts on this one. What are we saying here? There you go. There's a 3-2. I thought we might get some like that. Luton. Stefford take a draw. Bristol City for Ewan. Draw for 5 bellies. Terence. Luton. Luton gave a free hit to Sheffield United. As in it didn't play well, Stephen. Luton, draw, Luton. Jeff believes City can win this one. We're on the up. 6 points in 3 games. You know me, Jeff. I'll have a 2 points per game over whatever sample size you like. Luton. Desmond and City for Robert at the bottom there. I'm going to go for Luton on the basis of the away form and Bristol City's defensive record, frankly. So let's plug that in and yell out home. And I'm going to go for Luton. And a few people had this. Notice I was deliberately not reading out the score they were putting, so it didn't steal my thunder. I'm going to go for a 3-1 to Luton, which is quite long odds, to be fair. We're over the 10-1 standard. That 12-1 for a 3-1. But Luton, they know where the goal is, don't they? I know I was just saying about their XG, but 6th in terms of goals scored in the Championship. Do make a lot of chances and do look decent at the Kenny, don't they? So I'm going to go for a 3-1 to Luton in this one. Last game here, and then we can go to some Q&A, is Birmingham versus Peterborough. Get your predictions in, guys. Birmingham versus Peterborough. And sorry, Posh fans, but we've got to lead off with the Peterborough away record. And again, we talk about Barnsley maybe breaking some bad records. Peterborough have lost 12 away games. 12 already. It's not February yet. 12 away games. Played 13, won 1, lost 12. So they've got a dreadful away record. And yeah, in the words of Willie Nelson, they are on the road again. And they're heading to Birmingham, who got themselves a victory at the weekend, did Blues. It was against Barnsley, but look, sometimes the fixture computer is nice, isn't it? And okay, there's the fixture computer and a rearranged game into this, but at the moment, any team would love Barnsley at home, followed by Peterborough at home, because they are the bottom two in terms of the form table. Obviously, Peterborough are above Derby, but obviously, too many obviously's in that sentence, wasn't there? But clearly, that's to do with the points deduction as well, affecting Barnsley. So look, you would make Birmingham favourite for this one, I think. Get your predictions in. Blues, draw, posh. Excuse me. Blues, draw, or posh. I just don't want the cup of coffee to go to waste. Let me give you your Bloom numbers. So in the table, Birmingham by 4. XG, Birmingham by 13. Form table, Birmingham by 6. Homes and aways, Birmingham by 6. Goals scored, Birmingham by 5. Goals against, Birmingham by 4. Both sides have bad defensive records, though, 20th and 24th in that particular table. Let me have your predictions then. Birmingham, draw, or Peterborough in this one. Do you need your joker card? You do. I know it's only 4 places, but given Peterborough's away form, you probably need the old joker. Don't you? Right, where are we starting here? Blues, 0-0. Where's my picture? There they are. Look at them. Smile, though your heart is breaking and the ball's not in play at all. Right, Brom, posh. First point there. Brom. 4-6 against 19. Oh, that's Bristol City. Okay. Draw, Blues, home, draw. There you go. As an outsider, why not? Has it gone through, Luke? Has that been announced? We will talk about that. If anyone can confirm whether Hull have announced a sacking, we will go on and talk about that ahead of the Q&A. Blues. I won't be watching Ipswich tonight, Callum. I'm going to be covering QPR and Swans. But Blue Monday are on it. We've got 2 people at the game. The rest watching on iFollow and a live stream after the game. So we've got that all sorted. Interesting. Okay, we are going to get on to that. So I need to dive in with my prediction here first. Home, predictable. Sorry, but that Peterborough away record, I cannot countenance them getting anything. I'm going to go for a 2-0 to Blues in this one. 15-2 is your odds from betfair.com for that. Please gamble responsibly. Right, we will do Q&A, but it looks like I'm just going to visit the Hull City website. It looks like we've got some confirmed news to talk about. Yes, 9 minutes ago. So we're going to be visiting the Hull City website in just a sec and talking about that. So we will go to the Q&A in a minute. But obviously, big breaking news now in the Championship that I need to deal with first. So as ever, I'm going to write down a time code, get your comments in. We'll get to them, but I'm going to monologue for a few minutes. So react to anything I say and talk about Hull. Okay. Right, so big breaking news in the Championship at the end of this prediction stream is it has now been confirmed that Hull City have sacked manager Grant McCann. The timeline here is that the takeover was complete, the Turkish takeover, I think prior to the game against Blackburn, which I think was last Wednesday, wasn't it? So about a week ago, Hull then had that brilliant win, back-to-back wins, in fact, against 2 teams that have both occupied second in the table this past week in terms of beating Blackburn and then Bournemouth away from home as well at the weekend. We then, we saw a Turkish journalist with a blue check mark by his name on Twitter saying that Grant McCann had gone. I think that was possibly on Sunday night. We're on Tuesday now as I'm saying this. It's been very leaky from Hull this morning, and Sky Sports went with it much earlier in the day. But we can confirm now that Grant McCann has been sacked. So we're going to head over to the Hull website and read from their statements. Please get your thoughts in the chat about the firing of Grant McCann. I'm going to read you from the statement. Hull City can confirm we have parted company with head coach Grant McCann. Grant joined the club in June 2019, won 53 of 136 games in a 2.5-year spell. I'm just going to quickly jump in there. June 2019, of course, Nigel Adkins was the manager, and that was the end of the parachute payments. And we often see a change of manager. Look at Swansea this season. When the parachute payments run out, Hull had come down from the Premier League, hadn't they? Adkins, I think, got the last of it in that season. If I'm correct, it would have been 17, 18, 18, 19 that Hull were getting the parachute payments. We would have only got 2 years for only being 1 year up in the Premier League after Steve Bruce got them up, didn't he, with that Mo Diame goal in the 15-16 playoff final. Am I getting all my years in the right order? Sometimes I get a wrong year. Someone will correct me in the chat, won't they? For sure. And of course, the story for Grant McCann in that first season was cost cutting. And then famously in January, with Hull probably halfway up the table, weren't they? They may have just been in the bottom half. I don't know the exact number. But Jared Bowen, who's now tearing it up in the Premier League with West Ham, and Kamil Grosicki, the two inside forwards for Hull, who were disproportionately responsible for their goal output and creative outlay, were both sold in January, weren't they? Hull off the cliff. And their form towards the end of that season was so bad, it wasn't even funny. That coupled with, do you remember, it's a high tide, wasn't it? Wigan went down with the points deduction. But I think, and again, actually, no, I've got the numbers up on the wall here. Charlton, 48 points. So 49 was the survival number there. So wrong place, wrong time. Hull went down with 45, and I'm the one who sits here every week saying 45 to survive. Anyway, brilliant bounce back from Grant McCann, and he won League One. He knows the job with Keane Lewis Potter and Malik Wilkes and Josh McGuinness as a three, and Greaves at centre half, and Honeyman fashioned a decent team and won the division. So we're now back into this season, and I'll pick up the statement again. The 41-year-old, Christ, isn't he 41? Guided the Tigers to promotion. There you go. Leaves the club 19th in the Championship. That 19th is a fairly safe-looking 19th, I have to say. They've won the last 2 games. They're 10 points off the relegation zone. Remember, 2 teams have had points deductions as well. Reading have had 6 and Derby have had 21. So we think possibly a low tide. And for Hull to be sat at 29 points after 27 games, given that the likes of Peterborough and Barnsley are well below that, and Derby are fighting the 21, and Reading are also below Hull, it would have to be a very bad run for whoever does indeed come in. Chairman and owner, excuse me, any Turkish watchers, but I'm going to butcher this. Akan Ilkali or Ilchali, I don't know whether it's a ch or a k. Grant has done an excellent job for this football club in difficult circumstances, most specifically during the takeover process, and for that I offer my sincere thanks. These matters are never easy and are more often than not protracted. During the process, Grant has always remained professional. Sounds like he was always going to get fired, doesn't it? Focused on the team, and will forever be a friend of the Tigers. I'm sure Grant will be successful in whatever his next challenge is. However, now is the time for change and for me to start to build in what I believe will be an incredibly exciting time for the club. I have a philosophy and a belief. There we go. Philosophy and project in the same sentence there, as we mean to carry on, that involves having my team in place. I understand the timing may look odd after 2 good wins, but I wouldn't be fair or honest if I merely waited for a defeat to change manager. Fair enough. That benefits nobody. I will continue to be transparent with you, our fans. Our new head coach will be announced very shortly. Not we're looking, not we're going through an exhaustive search. It sounds like they know who the new head coach already is, and they'll be announced very soon. We can also confirm Cliff Byrne is going to leave the club with immediate effect. So, look, my reaction to all of this, and again, it's going to be fairly similar to what we were talking about with Watford yesterday, isn't it? First of all, I respect anybody who buys a football club is entitled to put their manager in to run it. I totally respect that. If I buy a house, it can be decorated with beautiful, ornate furnishings, but as soon as I've bought it, It's my freedom of choice to put whatever wallpaper and horrible ornaments up that I like. So I totally respect the choice of the owner. And honestly, that trumps much of the conversation, doesn't it? You can analyse what McCann did or what he would be able to do in the future. You can analyse that all day long. But it doesn't matter, does it? Because it's a new owner and they want their guy. And he's been quite plain about it. You know, why would I wait just for the manager to lose a game? I want my own guy in, which is his prerogative. And I do respect. However, ruthless and harsh that comes to Grant McCann. So has Grant McCann done a good job? I would say so. I know some Hull fans found him a bit stubborn, not switching from the 4-3-3 whenever he went to a 3 at the back this season. It seemed to garner some better results, didn't it? But look, he had his legs cut out, didn't he? He knew what he was getting into when he took it after Adkins under the alarms. That also brought its own assurances, though, because he knew he wasn't going to get the boot, didn't he? But he had his legs cut out when Bowen and Grzycki were sold that first season. And he did a fine job. Look, he won League One, didn't he? So I think McCann leaves with his stock high. So I think that works quite well for him. He's got a relegation that can be put down to terrible sales in the wrong time in the season and a high tide as well, like we mentioned with the points totals. And then he's got a League One championship to his name. So I suspect, I have a hunch that he'll go in at a high League One job rather than a low-end championship job. I just don't think he's done enough at championship level. I don't know. Someone may come in and hire him, but I think some high League One club in the top 6 there, I think those are the jobs he'll be linked with soon. I might be wrong about that. And, you know, let me know if you think that that's unfair and he should be going in higher up. What does it mean for Hull? Well, who knows? And we hear all these sorts of proclamations from new owners when they come in. Philosophy, project, my team. The devil's in the detail. We don't know, do we? We don't know. He could bring in exactly the right guy and invest and all of that good stuff. And Hull could move from being a bottom 6 championship team up the table by whatever distance. Everyone will remember at Hull, Leonid Slutsky. It could be completely the wrong guy as well. So we will find out. And I suspect the only way the Hull fans will be behind this decision is if they're out of the bottom 6 by the end of the season, isn't it? And I'm sure if this goes the wrong way and Hull are either embroiled in a relegation fight or do indeed go down, which honestly, can you see enough teams in that current bottom 5 of Barnsley, Derby, Peterborough, Reading, Cardiff getting enough points and it's a 10-point gap? I don't know. I think he's... look, he was always going to fire him from what he said, but I think he's coming from a bit of a position of strength. So look, to conclude, from a human angle, it's ruthless and I feel some sympathy for Grant McCann, but also I have to have the same level of empathy with the new owners, and it's their right to do it, whether it's harsh or seems tough on McCann. So I have to balance both up there and say that two things can be true. It is harsh, but it's their right to do it. And it's almost now, where are they at the end of the season? If they're above 6 bottom and trending in the right direction, it'll all look fine, won't it? If not, it's going to look like a bad call. And to reiterate, I suspect Grant McCann might appear at the top of League One rather than in the bottom half of the Championship. Who knows? That is my reaction to the firing of Grant McCann, the now former Hull City manager. Let's go to some comments. Could end up at the Den or there you go, Sunderland. That's the type of job, isn't it? MK Dons or Wednesday. Yeah. I think I'm with you guys. Blackburn went down the gutter when Venky said they did. Yeah, you have to give Venky some credit. It's running all right now, but yes, they did. All pre-planned at Hull. Arveladze, is that Shota Arveladze? Not too risky. It should be safe, but exact timing. Yeah, that's the right word, isn't it? Unfortunate. Some new owners sack a boss when the team is going well. Yes, they do. That's the risk. Totally agree with that. What else have we got? 40 points to stay up. Well, if that's true, and it might be a couple more, but you might be right. They only need another 11 points in their last 19 games, so should be fine. Strange one from Hull. Thought he might stay till summer. Yeah, I can see that argument, Stephen. But to quote the statement, why hang on when he's going to move him anyway? As well, Doncaster would love him back. Yes, they would, Jonathan, wouldn't they? Bottom of League One. Always happens when a takeover happens, either on the day or soon after the match. Yeah. It's their right, isn't it? I guess, as much as it seems harsh, doesn't it? Hull owner said it's time for a change. Yes, indeed. Not sure what to think. Seems a strange time to sack him. The only timing thing, Will, is it was going to happen after the takeover. Would have given him till summer. Yeah, a few people agree with that as well. Imagine getting sacked after beating Blackburn and Bournemouth. Well, there you go. Thought it was announced on Sunday. No, it was just rumours. It was never announced, was it? Shota Arveladze parted company in DDO as well. Good. Barnsley. I don't know. Are Barnsley going to join the illustrious list of 3 managers in the season? Clubs, let me know. Right. I suspect that's going to replace the Q&A that we were going to do, and I'll bid you all farewell. As Colm says, please hit that like button before you go. I'll clip out the whole clip. Clip out the whole clip. You know what I mean. Clip out the whole bit, and we'll pop that up on the channel in a little bit as well. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I know it's a hastily convened preview and predictions at 1 p.m. Thank you to Wolves FI for the super chat as well. And remember, go and check out gymvintage.com, gym-vintage.com. Of course, betfair.com for a bit of fun tonight. Please keep it that way, and please gamble responsibly. Only bet what you can afford. Football 365 as well. Come back later in the week. The predicted game will be up and running again for the full rounds, and all my preview stuff in writing will be up there from Thursday, basically. So go and check that out. And join me tonight for, who is it tonight? QPR Swans we are doing, isn't it? Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you're saying thank you, I'll pop it up in the advert at the end. And yeah, come and join us tonight. Good fun last night, wasn't it? Blackburn and Borough, proper blood and thunder. Plenty of games as well tonight. Lots of League One games. So do come and join us. Thank you all for watching. And it's over and out from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.